That looks a little blurry. Let's see if that's any better. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Boom, 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 bam. I'm back. Welcome back to the Great Debate Show. It's your favorite Uncle JJ. And as always, I got something to say. The Great Debate Show is available on all social media platforms. Rate, review, follow on YouTube. Subscribe to the Great Debate Show channel and smash that notification bell. I need likes, I need comments, and I need you to share this live stream. It helps me out in the algorithm, and it helps me grow my audience, and it supports me. Your support helps me be able to stay here and give you all more content here on the Great Debate Show podcast. I cover everything in sports and entertainment, from the NFL, which I love, that's my number one, the NBA, MLB, UFC, boxing, wrestling, WWE or AEW. I cover it all. The hottest topics in sports and entertainment of today and yesterday. So follow, smash that notification bell, and smash that like button, and smash that share or that repost, that retweet or whatever. Follow me on X, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. Weekdays, I have some of the hottest topics up for debate. Who's top 5 in this? Who's top 5 in that? All of those type things that I do in polls, and I put those things up on Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter. Y'all go on there, follow me on all those platforms so y'all can join the conversation. And I love to hear your comments and your debates. What I've been doing here for the past few weeks is when you all tell me something that I'm really intrigued with, one of your best comments, I shout you out. I give you a shout out on the next episode and give you the comment of the day from that episode that I previously posted. All right, y'all, I'm here to talk about 2026 WWE Elimination Chamber. It's over with, it's done. A lot of things was pretty predictable, but there may be a few things that you are kind of on the edge of your seat about. Maybe, maybe not. I'm live on TikTok right here. I'm live on YouTube right here. And I want to speak to my audience for a minute. It's Saturday night. I hope y'all have had a sensational Saturday and a good weekend. We're going to wrap this thing up by talking about this chamber. I'm coming back to you in the morning to talk about the draft and the NFL draft, the NFL combine. I got a few 40-yard dashes that I want to talk about from a few players that may raise your antennas. Some things that we want to talk about. I want to talk about some potential players that could move up in the draft. People who were expected to be late day 1 picks to early day 2 picks who may move their way into the top 20 pick of the draft. Max Crosby, a lot of news going on with him. A.J. Brown to the Patriots. A lot of NFL stuff that I got to talk about. I'm going to do that on a Sunday Fun Day. But for now, who was the masked man? Who was in the crate box? Who won the men's and women's elimination chamber match? All of that and more. Let's get to it. First, I want to start off by speaking to everybody on TikTok. The 49ers should trade or cut Renardo Green. They will. I think they will do one or the other. And trade is where I'm hearing they're going to do. The first masked man was Colton Gunn, Billy Gunn's son. Was it really? I heard the name, but I didn't never hear it was Billy Gunn's son. Are you sure about that? That guy 78. What's up to Jesse, Leslie? What's up to John? Who else we got on here? John Garcia. That guy 78. Lover, chocolate lover. Santa Teresa High School. Alex. Thank you for liking the live stream. Luis. Tony Firesticks. Diego. Odie. Web guy. Brayton Wheeler. Lawrence. Dorsey. How y'all doing, man? Thank y'all for joining me on TikTok. This is the Great Debate Show. Help Center Joe. Thank y'all. More likes attracts more viewers, so y'all please keep smashing that like button. Okay, let's get to the show, shall we? Hector, thank y'all for joining me. This is the Great Debate Show, and I do this Just follow the show because you never know when your favorite unk might pop back up. Okay, who was the masked man? Let me speak to everybody on YouTube first before I get going. What's up to Jacob? He said he got no pop. Who is he talking about? Who got no pop? I know who he's talking about. I'm going to get to it in a moment. Jacob also said, why the Temu Dracula? I know who he's talking about. Later Adam. Wow, so much cool trophy. I think he's talking about some of my paraphernalia, whatever the word I'm looking for. I'm lost right now. My stuff back here, my get up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Later Adam. Jacob said, why? Just why? OCCG is back in the building saying, I cannot be happier that Cody lost. Damn, I just told y'all what happened for those who didn't see. I'm going tonight. I'm going to night one of WrestleMania. Congratulations. And Randy Orton is one of my favorites of all time. So glad to see him. So glad to get to see him. That's what's up, OCCG. Could you tell us here on the Great Debate Show, the Great Debate Show community, could you please share with us how much you're spending, how much you paid for the ticket or tickets for your night one event at WrestleMania? I would love to know. Just out of curiosity. I'm not here to troll you or you my guy. You've been rocking with me for a minute. So I'm just curious because these prices are so outrageous. Did you catch it when they were on the 25% off? When they were offering 25% off or what? I just want to know. But again, congratulations. You're going to WrestleMania night one and I hope you enjoy. That's real talk. What did you spend though? We would all like to know here. Okay, y'all, this shouldn't take that long. The longest it's going to take is for me to just break down what happened and why. I can quickly tell you right now. They started the thing off with the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which CM Punk had just said that he thinks they need to stop doing that. He wanted to open the show because everybody knew he was going to win. He wanted to just open the show with that. He's going to retain. Get ready for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 42. Let's get this thing over with. But no, they didn't do it like that. He was not the opening match. He was not the first. He was the third match. His wife even came out before him versus Becky Lynch. Let me get those two out of the way, though, because the first and the end is what's more important, and that is the Women's Elimination Chamber match and the Men's Elimination Chamber match. So let's get that started. Let's start it like that first. Even though that's how it began and end, I'm going to tell you all what happened in the middle. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Yeah, this, like I said, I was not intrigued. I really didn't care to speak on it, to be honest with you, but I gave my predictions on Wednesday. If you all missed that episode, go back and check it out just to see how much I got right and how much I got wrong. Now, I did say in that prediction show that I thought that Becky Lynch would probably get the win, even though it didn't really matter how this match ended. But I thought that they were going to run it back at WrestleMania. So even though AJ Lee is in Chicago, she's from Jersey, not Chicago. Yes, it's her husband, CM Punk's hometown, but she probably gets screwed. Becky Lynch finds a way to win by cheating, and then AJ Lee takes the title from her at WrestleMania. I was wrong, even though I did say they should give AJ Lee the title, but I don't know how much she's going to appear. Will she continue to be part-time, or is she going to be more full-time once she gets the strap around her waist? AJ Lee was the winner. I was partially wrong, even though I just didn't care about this match. But AJ Lee gets the win. She beat Becky Lynch, and she's the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Will Becky Lynch take it back at WrestleMania, or are they done with that whole story, with that whole feud? I'm okay with either or, to be honest with you, because I'm just not interested in that anymore. They just took too long to come back to that. AJ Lee debuted or returned, at WrestlePalooza. That was in September. So in my opinion, that just took way too long for her to get back to where she is now versus Becky Lynch. That's like a 5-month gap. Okay. The match after that was her husband, CM Punk, in his hometown of Chicago, Illinois. In the building that this man behind me on this picture made famous, the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. And speaking of this man right here, I've been saying this all week. I've been pointing at this guy and the United Center in Chicago, and they did something special, something that I would have did too if I was a Chicago kid. like CM Punk, who really, really loves his city. And it's a beautiful city to love, no doubt about it. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, but there's a lot of people in Chicago still to this day that are from my area here in Memphis. Hell, I have family that moved, as we say, down south, up north, even though it's the Midwest. Everybody just moves up north to Champaign, Aurora, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois. And it's a beautiful city, even though I know it's a lot of crime, just like it is here in Memphis. But CM Punk loves his city, and I love him for that. And what he did tonight in his entrance, when he came out tonight to the theme music of the Chicago Bulls. Now, I know other teams use it at times from time to time, but it just, all the nostalgia is what I got from it. It took me back to being a teenager in the 90s, watching Michael Jeffrey Jordan win championships with Steve Kerr, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tony Kukoc, Luke Longley, all those guys, Phil Jackson. Those were the days, man, when I was a Bulls fan, or at least I thought I was a Bulls fan. I was more a Michael Jordan fan, it turned out. But he came to the ring, well, before he made his entrance to the ring, he was coming from the locker room all the way back through Gorilla, playing that infamous Chicago Bulls theme music. I don't know exactly what it's called. It's not really called the Bulls music, but you know when you hear it, you think the Chicago Bulls. And it was just a lot of nostalgia. I got goosebumps actually listening to it. CM Punk's World Heavyweight Championship title reign has not been all that. But that's because people like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and John Cena retired. There's nobody there, you know? So he's just doing and making the most of it with Finn Balor's of the world. So that's why his title reign has been somewhat, you know, mediocre. Jade Cargill doesn't have any title defenses except for one. Who is she going to defend it against, though? Not her fault. Stephanie Valkyrie's had a few title defenses, but they ain't meant anything. She hasn't been in any meaningful story. Nobody really cares about her and Liv Morgan's match. There's no dialogue. So we could complain about every single champion. And don't let me get started on the Women's United States Champion, Julia. Anyway, I digress. I'm kind of getting off topic. I love what I saw from CM Punk. I love what I saw in his entrance. And he came to the ring after the Bulls music, the Chicago Bulls music from the 90s. His music hit. We knew he was going to win the title. It ain't a lot to talk about. I just wanted to talk about his entrance because I really did enjoy it and I liked it. He won. He retained. He's getting ready for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 42. That's not a surprise to anybody, right? The end of the story. Nothing else to talk about. Judgment Day didn't get involved. There was no return of the demon or none of that. Just a straight up match where, unless I missed something, CM Punk just won straight up and clean, and that's the end. And if I did, if anything else happened other than that, I'm sorry. I apologize. But this was a very, very dull night. The crowd was very dull. It just didn't feel like a real PLE, even though they were in Chicago. I think the highlight of the night for them was AJ Lee and CM Punk. So AJ Lee won. She's the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. CM Punk is the World Heavyweight Champion still, as he retained. Victorious versus Finn Balor. Now let's go back, rewind a little bit to the first match, which was the Women's Elimination Chamber. Y'all, I didn't come here last night to do the SmackDown post show, but I told you all that if Rhea Ripley and Io Sky lose their tag team titles to the Irresistible Forces, Lash Legend and Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley's going to win the Elimination Chamber on Saturday night. Well, we have new women tag team champions, and that is the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax and the lovely Lash Legend. And I knew that was coming a few weeks ago. If you can remember me telling you, after they had that no contest or that disqualification match against the tag team champions, Rio, I knew the next time they fight, they're going to take the titles off of them, and they did. And when they took the titles off of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, that let us know Rhea Ripley was going to win tonight's chamber match, and she did. They broke it down to Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton, and Rhea Ripley got the win. Now, I thought Raquel Rodriguez should have been the last one, but I knew they would let it be Tiffany Stratton because they wanted us to wonder Who's it going to be? Ooh, I hope it's not Tiffany. Nobody wants to see Tiffany versus Jade again. Ooh, I hope it's Rhea Ripley. But then there are a few people who still wanted Tiffany Stratton to win and get her title back at WrestleMania. So they just kind of played with you a little bit, and then boom, it happened the way we said it would. When Rhea and Io Sky lost their tag team titles last night, we knew Rhea Ripley would win this Elimination Chambers match, and she did. This is not the way it was supposed to go. They thought Bianca Belair was going to be back in time. They put all their chips in on her. That was not able to happen after she had to have another hand surgery with her broken knuckles and all of that. And this is where they had to go. I would have much rather them had went with Charlotte Flair, but they're not ready to break up Charlotte and Alexa Bliss yet. Obviously, I guess not. Or maybe they just want Charlotte and Alexa Bliss to go one-on-one at WrestleMania, and that turn is about to come as soon as this coming SmackDown on Friday. We'll see. But they went with Rhea Ripley. Look, it was a safe thing to do. Don't get me wrong. It was the backup plan all along. That's what they went with, and in my opinion, they went safe. But people love Rhea Ripley. She gets a hell of a pop. They wanted her to win, and, well, there it is. So Rhea Ripley wins the Elimination Chamber match on the women's side, so we know that it is pretty much Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42. How do you all feel about it? Is that going to be a good match? Do you think Rhea Ripley is going to take the title from Jade, or what? I want to thank Logan Paul, the hotter Logan Paul, for following the Great Debate Show on TikTok. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, bro. Okay, let's move on to the men's. We got to fast forward now. I already told you about the middle matches. Now let's get to that fourth and final match. It was the men's Elimination Chamber match where we had Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul, who just got added to it after Friday Night SmackDown, where we saw Jey Uso, at the beginning of the show, being stretchered out and put on the ambulance. I know a lot of people was happy to see that because we didn't want to see Mr. February on my WWE calendar for 2026. If you can see it in my background, we didn't want to see Mr. E in the chamber match. He only won last week because Bronson Reed took an injury to his bicep. It's a wrap for him for a while. Speedy recovery to Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker. And I would say that other guy, but he might have showed up tonight. We'll get to that in a minute. But before I finish the Elimination Chamber match, before they got to that, let's talk about who was in the crate box. Yeah, his name is Danhausen. This guy has worked the indies for a long time. I didn't know a thing about him until he got to AEW when I was still watching AEW. And I didn't give two fucks about him then, and I don't give two fucks about him now. So just being real with you, I was not impressed. I told you all on the prediction show, on the Elimination Chamber prediction show, that the word is Danhausen. It was. The end. It was kind of dull. He didn't get a big response. He didn't get much of a pop, as my guy Jacob said. And I heard a few boos toward the end of that. Anyway, Danhausen is now in the WWE. And we knew it was going to happen when he was officially removed from the AEW website. What is he going to do in the WWE? I don't know. And I really don't care. Moving on to the men's Elimination Chamber. Again, Triple H is really becoming Tony Khan. He sells a lot of hype, and then he doesn't really live up to those expectations. Danhausen in the crate box. Some people thought it could be The Rock. Some people thought it could be Vince McMahon, Chris Jericho. And I told you it would probably be neither. Not that I wanted to see any of those guys. Well, I'm lying. I would have loved to see The Rock if he would be able to stay. But if not, then it's okay. All right, so Danhausen was in the crate box. Maybe we'll find out the mystery man once I get done with this Elimination Chamber match. Okay, so as I go through it, again, you had LA Knight, you had Randy Orton, you had Cody Rhodes, you had Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers. Let's talk about it. And Logan Paul. At the end of the day, Logan Paul had a phenomenal night. Somebody who just entered the chamber after Friday night when he was put in a one-on-one match with Jacob Fatu to see who would win because Jey Uso got attacked and everybody's trying to figure out who done that. All this mystery stuff. I don't know who did it. It could have been Sami Zayn. It could have been Jacob Fatu. It could have been Cody Rhodes. Everybody thinks Drew McIntyre did everything, and I'm pretty sure he did not. Speaking of Drew McIntyre, we're going to talk about him too in a moment. I told you he would interfere in this chamber match, and he did. And at the end of the day, his interference cost Cody Rhodes a shot at the the WWE Undisputed Championship match. Or did it? Or did it? So Cody got screwed after Drew McIntyre interfered and gave him a shot over the head with his WWE Undisputed Championship. But then after that, Randy Orton did exactly what I told you all he would do. The same thing that he had been telling Cody Rhodes months ago. You didn't flinch, Cody. You didn't flinch. No, he did not. Randy Orton didn't flinch either tonight. He took advantage of his opportunity. Drew McIntyre, got the best of Cody. Randy Orton was able to catch Cody slipping. Bam. There it is. 1, 2, 3. RKO, pin. Randy Orton, victorious in the men's Elimination Chamber match. Javon Evans didn't really do a lot. He didn't make a lot of highlights like I thought he would. They missed on that. Logan Paul, again, eliminated the first 3 people. Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and LA Knight. Defeated all of them. 1, 2, 3 with the pin. No matter how he did it in a very heel fashion way. Logan Paul is good. I've been saying that for a while now. I like the way they done that with him. I knew Trick Williams wasn't going to win. So I'm okay the way those guys left out. If anybody thought LA Knight was going to win, all of these dirt sheets saying that they're really going to push LA Knight in 2026. Well, this was the chance to prove it. And they did not. I did not think for 1 minute that LA Knight would win this Elimination Chamber match, and he did not. As a matter of fact, he was eliminated before Trick Williams. It was Javante Evans who was pinned by Logan Paul first. Then it was LA Knight who got pinned second. Then it was Trick Williams. And that left Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. And I forgot which one eliminated Logan Paul, but he was the next to go. And, of course, it was down to the final 2 that I told you all it would go down to. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Now, if you watched the prediction show, you would know I got this right. I said that Rhea Ripley would win the Women's Chamber match, even though I wanted it to be Alexa Bliss or Charlotte Flair, who would jump or attack Alexa Bliss before the chamber started. She reinserts herself in it, or she inserts herself in it, and now it's Charlotte versus Jade. That's just the way I want it to go. But I told you all they keep it safe, and Rhea was going to be the option. And in the men's side, I said Randy Orton should, and if they're smart, they will let him win the Elimination Chamber match, and he did. Thanks to Drew McIntyre, of course. Now let's get to the interesting part of the show, because it wasn't that interesting. But what they threw at us was a swerve, a curveball. We thought that when Randy Orton won, well, I didn't think it. I knew better. That it would be Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, WrestleMania 42. But Drew McIntyre interfered in the match. So it was easy for Nick Aldis to say, all right, you screwed Cody. You screwed Orton the other week. You screwed Jacob Fatu on Friday Night SmackDown when he had a chance to get in this chamber match. You're facing all 3 of them. Fatal 4-way, WrestleMania 42, the end. Get out my face. But that's not what Nick Aldis said. Maybe he's waiting until Friday night or next Friday to say it. But after Elimination Chamber ended and Randy Orton was victorious, we know he's going to WrestleMania. He stamped his ticket, right? I'm going to read these comments in 1 second. I see some LA Knight stuff. The crowd is always behind LA Knight. And it doesn't mean a damn thing to the WWE. Y'all, I told y'all a year ago that Triple H hates LA Knight in his shtick. And Kevin Nash said that 2 years ago on his podcast. That's why he has to watch what he says at times, but he's trying to get clicks. And so he always says some stuff that kind of stirs the pot, like some things that he said about Javon Evans a few weeks ago. He's let us know that Triple H does not like LA Knight. And doesn't it show in the booking? He doesn't like him. He's never going to push him to be the mega star that they claim he is. They just use him enough to get by. Anyway, I digress. After Orton wins the match, Nick Aldis is pissed. This is the post show. They try to make you stay tuned to a lot of that too, because the show is over and they go immediately into the post show. And the general manager of SmackDown, Nick Aldis, goes up to Drew McIntyre and he says, "You son of a bitch, I'm sick of you and your shit." I'm not lying. Those was his exact words on the post show. "I'm sick of your shit, you son of a bitch. I told you to stay out of these matches. I told you to stop doing this and stop doing that, and you just can't get a hold of yourself. So I tell you what I'm going to do." Nick Aldis said that Drew McIntyre has to put his WWE Undisputed Championship on the line. His WWE Universal Championship on the line this Friday night on SmackDown versus Cody Rhodes. That was the swerve that we got. We were looking for him to just say, "You're fighting all three of those guys in a fatal four-way at WrestleMania 42. I still think they can get to that, but that ain't what he said tonight. To get ratings on SmackDown, Cody Rhodes, who's supposed to be out of this WrestleMania picture now, he was looking at the sale, at the chamber like, "What have I done? I'm screwed. I'm not going to WrestleMania. How do I get back to WrestleMania?" And then on a platter, on a silver platter, just like Nick Aldis gave to Logan Paul Friday night on SmackDown by putting him in the chamber match, when he could have been the main one who was responsible for Jey Uso's attack. He gives Cody Rhodes a championship match. That's interesting. Fatu didn't get a championship match. Randy Orton ain't got a championship match. He had to earn that by winning the chamber tonight. I understand Cody Rhodes does deserve to be in the picture. But one-on-one, what are they going to do this Friday? I don't know if it's no DQ or anything like that. Drew McIntyre can probably just easily disqualify himself so he can still retain the title and go into WrestleMania as the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. But I would like to see your comments and what you think about it. Friday night, it's Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes, and the championship is on the line. If Cody wins this, McIntyre is out of WrestleMania. And Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton is the match. So then what do? That would mean that they would probably show us that Drew McIntyre did attack Jacob Fatu, and we get Fatu versus McIntyre, while everybody thought it would be Fatu versus Cody. If Randy Orton won the chamber match, which I predicted, and I got that right. So I got everything right except for AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, and I just didn't care who won that. But I predicted Rhea would win. I predicted Randy Orton would win, and there it is. Are they going to do Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 42, or is something screwed up going to happen on SmackDown to where we still get Cody losing Friday night against Drew McIntyre? McIntyre retains, and it's Drew, and the general manager just says, "Fuck this. This is about all I can do. I'm putting you up against Cody, Fatu, and of course Orton because he won the chamber, and there's your fatal four-way." I still think that's not out the picture, but if they just take the title off of McIntyre on SmackDown, and Cody is the champion, and he's going into WrestleMania as the champion versus Randy Orton, Orton's got to go heel now in search of his 15th championship. Let me read some comments. I'm done. That's the end of the show. I told you Danhausen was in the crate box. I told you Rhea Ripley is the Women's Elimination Chamber winner. I told you AJ Lee is the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Oh, and last but not least, how could I forget how Logan Paul got eliminated? The Masked Man. Now, on SmackDown, we saw a guy that we ain't never seen in our lives. And I still don't quite know who he is, but whoever he is, he's supposed to be in the school of Seth Rollins' little wrestling class or whatever, okay? That was last night on SmackDown. Tonight, we get another guy who comes out, and he doesn't really get to attack Logan Paul either. He gets caught by the authorities, and he's getting taken out, and his mask come off. And this is kind of a blonde guy. Blonde and brunette, whatever. And it's like, who the hell are these people? So I'm like, these are Seth Rollins' people. Now, I don't know if he's starting a new vision or what. I hope not. But we're like, okay, Seth is coming. If you were watching, we were like, Seth is going to show up, though, still. And as soon as they took the other guy to the back, Masked Man number 2, that's when we get another Masked Man who showed up in the chamber. I don't know how I forgot to mention this. before I got to the ending of the match. But that was when another guy came up, curb stomped Logan Paul. That's how we got eliminated. Cody Rhodes hit him with the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Logan Paul is eliminated. And that's when, off the mask, we knew it was Seth freaking Rollins. So Seth Rollins is back, I think. I don't know if he's cleared to fight or not, but he's back. And they have finally wrapped up this Masked Man story. It was rumors that they were going to scratch it. I'm glad they didn't. They went on and laid it out. Now, is Seth Rollins just going to go away until Braun Breaker comes back? Or is he about to challenge Logan Paul at WrestleMania 42? That's probably better than facing Bronson Reed, to be honest with you. But maybe they were going to do him versus Bronson Reed before he got hurt. I don't know if anybody wants to see Seth and Logan Paul, though, because it was Braun Breaker who really set the whole thing up. He started to take over the vision. He's the main one that said we're taking Seth out. He and Bronson Reed were the main guys behind Seth Rollins. Logan Paul is somebody who just got there. But they may be desperate enough to get Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And they may do Seth and Logan if Braun Breaker can't come back. I'm hearing that Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker are doing everything they can to come back to WrestleMania. They're working extensively. I mean, like crazy work that they're putting in rehab so they can be at WrestleMania. And if that's the case, then we still could get Seth versus Braun Breaker. But I'm not sure. But Seth did come in and finish this Masked Man story, which I'm so glad. We knew it was him all along. He just let us know that I've been sending other people. And I distracted you and I caught you off guard and I got you. And you still didn't win the chamber. So Seth Rollins is the Masked Man. Danhausen was in the crate box. AJ Lee is the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. CM Punk retained. Rhea Ripley won the Women's Elimination Chamber. She will be facing Jade Cargill. And Rhea Ripley talked cash money shit at the post show. She said Jade is phenomenal. She is who she is. She looks great, blah, blah, blah. But she ain't never been in the ring with Rhea Bloody Ripley. And I'm going to kick her ass. These are the words coming from Rhea Ripley. Did Rhea Ripley just tell us she's going to put Jade Cargill over at WrestleMania 42? I think so. I hope so. I mean, Rhea Ripley has put Io Sky over I don't know how many times. Why not put Jade Cargill over? I think she should. I think she will. But the fact that she lost the tag titles, we knew she was going to be the winner tonight. And she's probably going to take that title from Jade. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Rhea versus Jade is next in line. And of course, the men's Elimination Chamber match, Randy Orton is victorious. He's going to WrestleMania. But now the question is, will he be facing Drew McIntyre or will he be facing Cody Rhodes? Who do you all think wins that match? Or do y'all think that's just going to end up a no contest or something like that this Friday on SmackDown? Let me know. All right, I'm going to read a few comments and we can wrap this thing up. It is 11:15 Eastern Time and it is 8:15 Pacific Time. So let's get this thing cracking. Flying Taco Snake says Rhodes. You think Rhodes is going to win Friday night? Back end. I haven't saw you in a while, brother. He said, I like this Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Did you? It was okay, I guess. Doggy said 6'7". OCCG said LA Knight has the crowd behind him, and it's like Triple H is deaf to the crowd noise unless it's Cody Rhodes. Absolutely agreed. He doesn't like Cody. He doesn't like him. Everybody knows that now. Cody Rhodes is his guy. And Kevin Nash has said on his podcast that Triple H don't like him. He just has to fall back a little bit on some of his comments because Triple H has told him, people are listening to you, shut up. I saw something where it said the Shield was going to be in the box. Well, that didn't happen. What's your thoughts on March Madness, says Arnell. I can't wait. March Madness starts March 18th. I'm going to be giving you all that coverage right here on the Great Debate Show podcast. Follow on all social media platforms, TikTok and YouTube. Okay. I think it was kind of dumb for Punk to fight. He was already being advertised for WrestleMania. Like, he already won weeks before the match. I agree. They just trying to do it because he was in Chicago. We knew how it was going to play out. I don't really know about the price because I'm going with my dad, but I think he said like $500 to $700 a pop. But we're going to be in the 100 section. That's not bad. I heard that nosebleeds were about 300. So that's not bad at all. Okay, congratulations, and I hope you enjoy, you and your dad. at WrestleMania. He's going to WrestleMania night one. One of my followers here in the audience on YouTube, OCCG. I thank you, brother. King Mikey, what's up, man? Flying Taco said, yes, sir. King Mikey said, now the rumor is Julia versus Io Sky for the U.S. Championship at Mania. I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Rio's going for the women's WWE Championship, and Io Sky's going to go for the women's United States Championship. That's why they pulled Io Sky out of that SmackDown match a few weeks ago. She was supposed to go one-on-one against Julia, and they inserted Rhea Ripley into it. They're saving that for WrestleMania. So this could turn out to be a decent WrestleMania. It's just been a horrible build, but we still could get a decent match card. Okay, let me read some comments now on TikTok. Jason Lesnar said, did Jericho show up? No, he did not. This was supposed to be when he showed up, but we found out a few weeks ago that his contract is frozen in AEW. So Tony Khan is doing everything he can to keep him from showing up in WWE. And the WWE is putting AJ Styles in the Hall of Fame and doing everything they can to keep him from going to AEW. AJ Styles has set the record straight and said that he's not interested in any of that. He's retired. He's going to focus on being a good father and a good husband like he's always been, but this time locally at home. Shout out to AJ Styles. All right. It was a pretty good show, says all of this 5, Vanetta. All right. It was okay. I thought it was pretty dull for the most part, but at least we got to see the Masked Man get revealed with Seth Rollins. At least we got to see Randy Orton win, and it wasn't the same old basic stuff with Cody Rhodes winning, being safe. That I'm okay with. Rhea Ripley winning, hey, it's better than Tiffany Stratton winning. So the outcome, the results were cool. It just wasn't the best of matches, in my opinion, and they didn't really do anything other than just the matches. And Danhausen in the crate box was a major disappointment, even though I told you all that's how it was going to be. Truckin' Spears says, it was kind of dull myself. I agree with Trucker Spears wholeheartedly. What did Seth do, Jason? Seth pulled that mask off after he curve stomped the shit out of Logan Paul and got him eliminated from the chamber. Yeah, he showed up after another Masked Man showed up, got attacked by the authorities, and he got exposed again, mask off. We didn't know who the hell he was, and we're like, when is this going to end? And I knew it was coming to an end. And shortly after that, that's when Seth Rollins showed up, and he did his thing. Truckin' Spears said, I laughed at that. Well, thank you. But I agree with you, man. LA Knight messed up. He did. He had a little botch. I wish he stopped doing that move. He's at an age now, and you all should Google his age. He ain't that young anymore these days. He doesn't have to really do that, you know. Get up on the top rope and just fall on him, you know. Like, yeah, he stumbled a little bit, and he got eliminated shortly after that. But no, Jericho didn't show up. What else we got here? Cody. Big Rob said Cody. The Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania finna go crazy, says Makai Williams. I'm waiting on them to announce it. I thought he was gonna do that tonight, but he just said Cody versus Drew McIntyre. And I don't think that that's really the way it's gonna go down in the end. They're gonna have the match, but I think somehow, some way, he's gonna get himself disqualified or something. Now, if they say no DQ, that's a totally different story. Even then, I think McIntyre will cheat to find a way to win. I think they're still going to do a fatal 4-way. If they really do go Cody getting the championship back Friday night on SmackDown, and they go Cody versus Randy Orton, then they're going to do Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. And that would mean that Jacob Fatu was attacked by Drew McIntyre. That'll get exposed at some point here in the near future, and I would hope very near. Only thing I can see the story is maybe Logan wants his revenge from losing at Mania 39. That's about it. Yeah, I guess. But I think they should just chill on it, to be honest with you. Just wait on Braun Breaker to come back. Seth Rollins, you've pretty much destroyed the vision. Everybody's on the shelf. He doesn't have to have a match at Mania. If they do it, it just shows you how they're trying to get some tickets to sell more and faster, because they're not selling worth a damn. King Mikey on YouTube said, honestly, Why did they do Becky versus AJ? They could have done the tag match, Natty and Becky versus AJ and Maxine, and put Maxine over. They should have been putting Maxine over in the first place. But King Mikey, that's interesting. I like that comment. I really do. They could have done that. That would have got us over until we got AJ versus Becky at WrestleMania. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And what they're doing with Natty and Maxine is kind of hard to watch. Like, what are we doing here? And she's just getting buried. I thought the plan was for her to look like she could be a star in this company when she was training with Natty, and then she started winning matches, and she actually upset Becky Lynch, and she became the Women's Intercontinental Champion. I don't know what they're doing with that. It's very, very weird. But I agree with your comment, King Mikey, and I hope you're doing well on a Saturday night. And he agrees with me. He said facts. I agree 100. Back to TikTok. Thank you all for your comments. Daniel Oops, Makai Williams, Ralphie 23. I wonder, do they do Seth versus Logan match? Yeah, I think that's where they're going with it now. But I would just chill and not let Seth get back in the ring until he's 110% and Braun Breaker is close to 100% as well. And if Braun Breaker can't come back for WrestleMania, then why bother? Logan Paul just got in the vision. He didn't really have a dog in this fight. Seth just needed to just show up in this masked man story and show his face and let it be known, I wiped all of you out. Some of you were injured, and I got some of you all disqualified and lost matches, and you couldn't get in this and you couldn't get in that. I'll be back when Braun is back. That's what I would do, but they're trying to sell tickets. So Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul is damn near for sure what they're going to do. Who won, AJ Lee or Becky Lynch? AJ Lee is the new women's Intercontinental Champion, Steve and Robin. It's got to be Cody versus Randy, says Falcon Fan. It probably will, but should it be? Are you okay? Are y'all okay with just Randy versus Cody and Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre? If they doing it, it's only because we all knew they were going fatal four-way. I guarantee you. Triple H just loves to try to make it look like you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. When in all seriousness, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Have you heard how many times they flipped the WrestleMania card? They're still pitching different things right now. They are. Stephen Robbins said, correct. Say what you say. Thank you very much. Trevor shared the live. Thank you very much. I encourage more viewers to share this live stream. I had to work. How was it? Wally Witherspoon. Man, it was okay. I thought it was a little dull. I agree with all the results pretty much, but it just seemed kind of dull. The crowd didn't even really feel like they were into it. We knew Punk was winning. We knew AJ Lee was winning. We knew Rhea Ripley was going to win the chamber match on the women's side when she dropped the tag titles last night on SmackDown to the Irresistible Forces. Shout out to Lash Legend and Nia Jax. I like what they're going to do with those tag titles. I do. And I hope to see them on Raw as well as SmackDown, like we saw Rio. But it was still kind of dull. It didn't get a little. Danhausen was in the crate box. Who cares? He didn't get a pop. Everything was kind of dull until Seth Rollins took the mask off and finally revealed himself, and Randy Orton got the win. Nobody really expected that. I predicted that should happen, but everybody kind of just knew that. Even I said Randy should win. I'm gonna go with Randy, and if they're smart, they're gonna let Randy win. But I still also said at the very end, they're probably going to play it safe as always and let Cody win. But I was just hoping that they found a way, even if Cody wins, to make it a fatal four-way. Now, Randy Orton won. This should make it easier to make it a fatal four-way. But the general manager, Nick Aldis, said, Drew McIntyre, I'm sick of your shit. And he called him an SOB. And he said, you're going against Cody Rhodes, one-on-one at SmackDown. I'm like, damn, really? That's what it is. All right. That's it for me, man. I think I've said enough. Punk called Roman Reigns Rusty Reigns. Good one, Jesse Lessie. Speaking of what Punk and Roman Reigns got going on, how about I briefly talk about what Roman Reigns tweeted during the match that CM Punk had with Finn Balor. The OTC reacted to the Elimination Chamber match. And it was a bit interesting. I'm not going to lie. Let's see what Roman Reigns said here. Roman Reigns called out CM Punk City. The OTC reacted to the Elimination Chamber match with Finn. I'm trying to tell you what he said, because he definitely said something. Yeah, he tweeted around 9:03, 10:03 Eastern Time. Roman Reigns said, not sure who looked more tired, the crowd or the champion. Enjoy this final month of relevancy. From the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Yes, he said, not sure who looked more tired, the crowd or the champion. Enjoy this final month of relevancy. Now, some people said the dude thinks he's Jordan. He's not even Josh Giddey. Others said, my tribal chief, you need to be showing up to work to stay relevant yourself. And then some people said, the tribal chief is coming back to take what's his and reign all over the WWE again. Some people agreed with the tweet, some didn't. But that's what he said during the match. There's going to be a lot of personal things going on with this rivalry. There's a lot of dialogue, something that we don't get enough of with these feuds and storylines. There's going to be a lot of jabs, a lot of shots, a lot of barbs that's going to be thrown at each other from CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Now, we know CM Punk has the pipe bombs to go all the way. We know that. He has a sharp tongue, very rebel-minded, reminds me a lot of myself when it comes to just saying what needs to be said, whether you like it or not. He's brutally honest. But Roman Reigns, who wasn't so sharp on the mic with his promos back in the day, he's gotten so much better. So he can make this thing very interesting too, because he's going to get personal and he's going to talk about the things that we've heard Seth Rollins talk about for years now, on how CM Punk just wasn't the best person to work with when they were coming up in the company, trying to make a name for themselves. So this is going to be interesting. CM Punk and Seth Rollins may have finally buried the hatchet. CM Punk has said some nice things about Seth Rollins on public, kind of going out of character. Seth Rollins, not so much, but he was on Club Shay Shay, the Shannon Sharp show, kind of saying that he would probably, you know, if CM Punk is ready, maybe he would listen, maybe he would do this or do that. But Seth Rollins is a guy who doesn't let a lot go, and he still seems to hold a lot of grudges. The same thing CM Punk did for 10, 12 years. But it seems like Punk has let those things go, and he may be a better person. It just, Seth Rollins may not be trying to hear that shit. And Roman Reigns is somebody who is also not letting it go. So everything that Seth Rollins feels, we may hear it from Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns returns to Monday Night Raw this Monday, I think in Indianapolis, and gonna get this thing cracking. That's going to be the highlight of Raw. To me, Raw is not as good as SmackDown anymore. 3-hour shows on SmackDown has been bad, but not that bad, in my opinion. I like how they're finding a way to get everybody on television, though. And, you know, we're getting to see. I just need them to do more with Carmelo Hayes. Stop all of that open challenges stuff. But, yeah, Roman Reigns and CM Punk is now official. We're going to start seeing them. A lot of dates for Roman Reigns, a lot of dates for Brock Lesnar. Who's going to answer Brock Lesnar's challenge, his open challenge to WrestleMania? Is it going to be Obafemi? They're throwing stuff to the wall to see if it sticks. I think it should be. I think it will be, but we'll see. All right, that's pretty much it. I think I have pretty much said it all. I'll come back tomorrow to talk about some things that happened at the NFL Combine over this weekend and NFL Draft. Until then, I hope everybody be safe. And I hope y'all have a sensational Saturday night. Y'all please be safe, whatever y'all doing and wherever y'all about to go. I hope all is well. And thank y'all for joining me. Again, follow The Great Debate Show on all social media platforms. Speaking of Karrion Kross, King Arthur said Karrion Kross versus Brock. I think they should have brought Karrion Kross back, him and his wife, or whatever she is to him, versus Aleister Black and, what's her name? His wife. Fiance or whatever. I can't even think of her name. My apologies. Why not do that? All they have to do is come back and say, you two motherfuckers are emulating me. Y'all emulating us. You know? And we don't like that. And we're coming to take back what's ours. You know, give them a short contract and let's see how this thing works. That'll be a great build to WrestleMania. Because Randy Orton won the chamber now. So what does Aleister Black have to do with Randy Orton anymore? I've told you all for weeks. Aleister Black versus Randy Orton is not going to be the WrestleMania 42 match. He should be going up against Karrion Kross and his significant other. But they won't bring them back. Gunther should accept the challenge, says Steel Dre. What's up, Dre? How you doing, brother? Well, they said it was going to be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, but I don't see that now. Brock Lesnar showed back up very heel-like with Paul Heyman, who did all the talking. Nah, I think Gunther's going against Rey Mysterio, and he's going to end his career at WrestleMania. The Dragon Lee thing is just because Rey Mysterio keeps getting hurt. He keeps getting nicked up. But Rey Mysterio is going to be the one to come in to the rescue for Dragon Lee and say, I want you at WrestleMania. And Gunther will probably just come out and say, if I beat you, you need to retire. I'm going to kill your career too. I'm the career killer. That's where I think they're going with it. Gunther can't really answer Brock Lesnar's challenge unless Brock Lesnar has kind of already went face. And I don't think he's done that, especially being associated with Paul Heyman. When he comes out smiling and everything and actually shaking hands, that's when he's face. He hadn't done that. So I think it's going to be Obafemi or Royce Keys. I would love to see him debut at some point here instead of them just showing us snippets of him being on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, which is cool. I'm glad they're letting us know he's a part of the company. But hopefully they're not going to put him on the shelf until after WrestleMania. They probably are. But we'll see. Keep Oba face during that match. I think it should be Oba. Gunther versus Rey Mysterio for sure. Probably Oba versus Brock. That's it, Mikey. That's it. Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. Oba versus Brock. We may be getting Cody versus Randy Orton and Fatu versus McIntyre, even though I think they should just put all four of them in one. But if they do Cody and Orton, Orton's got to go ahead and turn heel here, right? But I would much rather them let it be Cody, but I know they're not going to do it. Everybody's been waiting on Orton to turn heel and put the RKO on Cody Rhodes for over a year and a half. Will it mean anything now if it happened? What if Cody turned heel here? I know they're not going to do it, but, and speaking of heel, Sami Zayn needs to be the one who attacked Jey Uso. Why not? Everybody's getting tired of Sami Zayn. Put him back heel. We'll love him. Again, just like we did when he was throwing the ones up. When he was Sami Uso. Thank you, King Mikey. He says facts. Fatal four-way. Who wins? I think McIntyre still needs to retain, but y'all know I'm big on McIntyre. But I would not be opposed to Orton winning. Let's let Cody keep chasing for a minute. Cody can get the title back at SummerSlam. Let him keep chasing till SummerSlam. Man, that time will fly by. It'll be August before you know it. That's what they did last year. They can do it again. And if they don't, it just proves to you that Cena was messing everything up with the booking. We're creative. Okay. Who won the man's elimination? Randy Orton, just as I predicted. Seth Messiah and Buddy Matthews return again. I didn't see Buddy Matthews now. No more Cody in the title picture. I'm with you, Gibby. But he is. He's fighting for the championship Friday night against Drew McIntyre. And it's nobody's fault but Drew McIntyre's. But that's why they've let him interfere in all these matches. I think it's to still do a fatal four-way. Jofi Joe said, what's good, Not really a wrestling fan anymore, but had to drop a like to show some love. I appreciate that too, brother. Thank you, man. Hey, I'm coming back tomorrow in the morning to talk about the NFL Combine and the NFL Draft and a little bit of things that could be going on in free agency and why your team may be getting A.J. Brown. I'm glad you popped up for a second. Will A.J. Brown be going to the Patriots? There's a lot of rumors out there saying that could very well happen. And I said this before the trade deadline. Mike Vrabel is an A.J. Brown guy, Tennessee Titans. That's the chemistry. He's going to New England, Buffalo. I wouldn't rule out him going to San Francisco for Brandon Ayuk, and I definitely wouldn't rule him out going back to Tennessee to the Titans. But the Patriots is number one on that list. I got a lot of football talk. I almost broke Xavier Worthy's 40-yard dash record. So I got a lot of football things to talk about on a Sunday fun day. Until then, I'm going to get up out of here. King Mikey said, you're speaking my words. I said it earlier to my friends. Let them say Sammy won that attack. Let me say that Sammy is the one that attacked Jay. My wrestling homies didn't want to hear it. Thank you. Good minds think alike, Mikey. That's how you shake things up. It's easy for us to say it was Drew McIntyre or it was Jacob Fatu, maybe. But why would it have been Jacob Fatu? He didn't get anything out of it. He didn't get into the chamber match. King Mikey said, I hope so, too. I'm tired of A.J. Brown. Now, Mikey, as an Eagle fan, he's an Eagle fan talking. on YouTube, I still wouldn't want to let go of A.J. Brown. All you got, A.J. Brown is not the problem. It's the people who don't know how to get A.J. Brown more involved in the offense. That has been the problem. And I know Nick Sirianni is a Super Bowl champion, but I would still cut him out. If he doesn't get this OC right, he'll be fired by week 7, week 6. Guarantee you. If I was an Eagle fan, I wouldn't want A.J. Brown to go anywhere. But we've been saying for months now, Mikey, Brandon Ayuk for A.J. Brown, and we both have been very cool with that trade, even though we know we're not going to get that. All right. That's enough for me, y'all. I want to thank everybody on TikTok, everybody on YouTube. I hope y'all continue to hit that like button, smash that notification bell. I agree with you. You're right, though. Thank you, man. And I appreciate your love and your support. Everybody that's been supporting me, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me right now. I appreciate it. That's not easy for a Saturday night. And it still hasn't been a lot of traffic, but it is what it is. Y'all be looking for those reels and those clips, those shorts. All those things will be coming between tonight and in the morning for anybody that did miss the live stream. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about NFL Combine and draft status. Until then, y'all be safe. Randy Orton versus who at WrestleMania 42? We've got Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes Friday night for the WWE Universal Championship. Damn. How are they going to do this? Stay tuned. We'll see. Until then, y'all be safe out there, man.